and welcome to Eagle Eye News at 6. I'm Heesun Yoon.
And I'm Blake Phillips. Governor Kay Ivey announced last week that the statewide safer-at-home health order has been extended through April 9th at 5 p.m. The amended health order extends existing regulations to mitigate the spread of the COVID-19 virus, including requiring facial coverings in public, social distancing, and regulations for various types of businesses.
In their weekly COVID-19 update, Auburn University reported 16 positive cases for the week of March 2nd. This is more cases than the week before, which saw only 12 test positive. The total number of positive cases since September 6th is 2,013 for Auburn's main campus. If you suspect you have been exposed to COVID-19, self-report to the Auburn University Medical Clinic or to Auburn's COVID Resource Center.
Auburn University received additional doses of the Moderna COVID vaccine and has begun notifying via email employees and students who are eligible to receive a vaccination from the latest supply. With the new allotment of vaccinations, the university now has enough supply to fulfill the needs of those awaiting their second dose of the vaccine. The university says that priority will be given to those in need of their second dose. Following the distribution of the second doses, the remaining supply will be used to administer as many first doses as possible. To learn more about Auburn University's phased vaccination distribution plan, visit the university's COVID-19 vaccination information webpage.
Distribution of Johnson & Johnson's new coronavirus vaccine is ramping up, but many medical experts are urging cities and states to not roll back COVID-19 restrictions. That's because of the threat of the all-new variants spreading around.
3, 2, 1, vaccinate.
Johnson & Johnson's vaccine just injected into American arms for the first time. But supply is a trickle, not a flood.
It's a fairly limited supply to begin, but later in the month, we think we start to see real numbers.
Merck will transform 2 facilities to manufacture the J&J vaccine in a deal President Biden is expected to announce this afternoon.
A lot to look forward to, but right now we're in a dire time potentially.
The average daily COVID-19 death toll was falling, not anymore. And average daily case counts now plateauing at about the level of last summer's surge.
This is a scary virus, and we already know that. We underestimate it at our peril.
A study of a surge in Manaus late last year found the variant first identified in Brazil was likely to blame and could more easily reinfect people who've already been infected. The research is not yet published.
Variants are starting to take over, and if they become dominant and we relax restrictions, I think we can absolutely see a huge spike.
Houston just became the first city in America to log cases of every major variant, but
It is now time to open Texas 100%.
meanwhile, Team Biden is still sticking to 2 doses within a month of the Pfizer and Moderna vaccines.
Even though you can get a fair degree of, quote, protection after a single dose, it clearly is not durable.
But there's a ghost at the feast, the rump of Team Trump. The former Surgeon General today tweeting, "Good protection for many with 1 shot is better than great protection for a few." Later adding, "I'm not saying it's 100% the right way to go."
I think that he should park his Twitter fingers for a few minutes. The Trump administration has a lot to answer for with how their vaccine plan rolled out.
The East Alabama Medical Center has donated a piece of land in Opelika to the Alabama Institute for Deaf and Blind for a new facility, the hospital announced last week. According to an EAMC press release, construction bids are currently taking place for the 7,900 square foot facility, and ADIB expects to hold a groundbreaking ceremony in mid-April. The Opelika Regional Center will provide services to individuals from infancy through adulthood who are deaf-blind, and multi-disabled, and their families. Some examples of services include educational development for young children, training for families, or adjust and support for adults.
A remembrance ceremony was held in Lee County, Alabama for the Beauregard tornado victims.
2 years ago, on March 3rd, 2019, tornadoes ravaged the state of Alabama, and the day has become infamous as the deadliest day of tornadoes in American history. Last Wednesday, March 3rd, the Courthouse Square in downtown Opelika held a remembrance ceremony for the victims.
March 3rd, 2019 changed our lives forever, not only Beauregard, not only Smith Station, but all of Lee County. One of the greatest things that come out of that disaster was unity and hope and togetherness as a county.
Coming up, Auburn's Unity t-shirt raised money for student scholarships, and we get a look at the new dining hall. We'll be right back.
Alabama State Senate has approved a bill that prevents transgender minors from getting treatment.
This new legislation would make it a felony for doctors to treat transgender minors with hormonal therapy. They also would not be allowed to give minors puberty blockers or perform surgery as a part of their transition. Supporters argue minors are not ready to make these kinds of decisions, but opponents say the decision should be left up to the minor, their parents, and a doctor.
All these kids have had something happened in their past that maybe led to this feeling, and like I said, the research shows that 85 to 90% of these kids grow out of this, mature, and don't want to continue.
The hormone treatments and blockers do happen. They are done under careful medical guidance with specialists and psychiatric care as well. So to make sure the children are well-rounded, getting all the help they need from all angles.
30 Auburn University students received a Together We Will scholarship last week.
When you come to Auburn, you come here to achieve greatness, to achieve excellence, to lead, and to create meaningful change, and to shape the world. In order for us all to achieve great things at Auburn, we first must give everyone an opportunity to succeed. That's called inclusive excellence. To give the hope and belief that no matter who you are or where you come from, you can call Auburn your home, your university, and one day, your alma mater.
The newly created Together We Will Scholarship was born out of the need to advance the Auburn family toward positive action on diversity, equity, and inclusion. Your support on Tiger Giving Day to the Together We Will Scholarship will help this initiative by enhancing the recruitment and retention of underrepresented students right here at Auburn through better access, affordability, and academic quality. Together, we will.
Together, we will.
Together, we will.
Together, we will.
With proceeds from sales of the official Auburn Unity t-shirt generating $30,000, 30 students received a $1,000 scholarship to offset tuition. The university agreed to match the t-shirt revenue to support student success, awarding each student an additional $1,000 in dining dollars to apply towards dining costs.
On Wednesday, February 24th, Opelika City Council held a ceremony in honor of the grand reopening of the Covington Recreation Center, which was built in 1962.
The grand reopening of the Covington Recreation Center took place on February 24th after receiving a $1.8 million renovation. The center, which originally opened in 1962, has an interesting backstory.
When I was first told about my participation in this program this morning, I was told I was to be excited, to show my excitement. And that's very, very easily done, not just only through smiles, but just reminiscing, knowing that in 1962, I was probably one of the first to walk in the building because we were just that excited.
When this building was first built, it was the first building for African American recreation. And I was 11 years old when this building was built.
So we have our basketball gym, and we just got a new volleyball system that is a little bit better than our old one. The posts mount directly into the ground, so they're removable, and then it makes the netting a little bit more stable, a little nicer. So we hope to start offering volleyball again in the future. We have an outdoor pool here with a baby pool, which is really nice. It's the only baby pool in town, so that's really convenient for our community here. And then we have our preschool program, which is a really great program for 3 and 4 year olds. It's from 8 to 12, Monday through Friday. and it's a really inexpensive option for parents who are looking for preschool for their child. Typically in the summer, we have a day camp here. We're hoping to be able to have that this summer. It's for kindergarten through 7th grade kids, and they do lots of activities every single day from 8 a.m. until 3 p.m. So it's a really good childcare option for parents who want their kids to have fun and be entertained and be in a safe place while they're at work during the summer months.
Think all of the top interior design schools are in New York? Well, think again. In its February online issue, House Beautiful magazine names Auburn University's program one of the best schools for interior design. In fact, Auburn's program is listed among only 13 described. The House Beautiful story, written by Kelly Allen, features Auburn among 12 other top-ranked interior design schools that she calls the best ones to consider for students seeking to become professional designers. Auburn Interior Design is ranked 9th nationally at the undergraduate level and 8th nationally at the graduate student level by Design Intelligence. Other programs reviewed in the House Beautiful feature include New York School of Interior Design, Savannah College of Art and Design, and Parsons School of Design.
Auburn University recently pushed its streak to 12 consecutive years of receiving the Tree Campus Higher Education designation, previously known as Tree Campus USA. This year, University arborist Alex Hedgepath and Auburn's tree care team, including 2 new ISA-certified arborists, are expecting to add more than 100 new trees, 24 new species to help bolster Auburn's canopy. Each year, the Landscape Services Department on average plants 100 trees, not including trees planted for capital projects. As part of the designation, an advisory committee helps make management recommendations for the trees located on the main campus, more than 600 acres, comprising more than 8,500 trees that house more than 4 million pounds of carbon dioxide and remove thousands of pounds of carbon from the atmosphere each year.
Auburn Facilities Management recently posted a full video time-lapse of the new Central Dining Hall construction, beginning with the demolition of Allison Laboratory in July 2019 to February 2021, showcasing about 20 months of work. The Central Dining Hall, titled The Edge, is scheduled to open fall 2021.
Research at Auburn University that might one day expand the output of batteries and fuel cells is being furthered using a new X-ray device that is only one of its kind in the state of Alabama. Co-SAM Professor Ryan Combs and Gene Walter, assistant professor in the Department of Physics, and Byron Farnham, an assistant professor in the Department of Chemistry and Biochemistry, have worked together for 3 years on research for next-generation materials for electronic and energy applications at Auburn. Now they are bringing world-class X-ray diffraction to the state of Alabama for the first time. A $300,000 grant has enabled Auburn to add a Rigaku Smart Lab X-ray diffraction instrument for core research through the Major Research Instrumentation Program from the National Science Foundation. Now, when we come back, would you eat Fruit Loops pizza? And it's National Women's Day.
Welcome back to Eagle Eye News at 6. A decades-old bomb hiding in an English city is discovered and sent packing with a vengeance.
A very big bang in the middle of a small city. That's what happened after a World War II-era bomb was discovered in the city of Exeter, England. The device, determined to be a 2,200-pound German air bomb, was unexploded, so authorities decided to explode it. But first, more than 2,000 homes in a quarter-mile radius had to be evacuated, along with portions of a nearby university. Once everyone was safely out, it was showtime. The controlled detonation was a success, but it did shower the area with debris. Residents are now slowly being allowed to re-enter their properties while the cleanup operation is underway. Speaking of very big doings at transpiring, an iceberg that's larger than New York City has broken off Antarctica. It's a major event scientists say they've been expecting for almost a decade. Experts say cracks in the Brunt ice shelf have been forming for years, but a new chasm called the North Rift started quickly growing in November. The 490 square mile chunk finally broke off not far from a British scientific outpost. Scientists call it a dynamic situation and are watching to see what the iceberg will do next. For Take a Look at This, I'm Jeremy Roth.
Culinary abomination or inspiration? Fruit Loops pizza is both appalling and intriguing people on the internet, but how does it taste?
It starts like any other pizza, But then things start to get a little loopy.
There's a fruity delight in every bite of this.
But is it a delight when it's Fruit Loops pizza? Fong's Pizza in Des Moines, Iowa bills it as a breakfast and dessert pizza.
The Fruit Loops obviously bring the sweetness and the crunch.
But others call it a crime against humanity, an abomination to pizza everywhere. That looks like something you'd see on a New York City sidewalk after the St. Patrick's Day parade.
We've seemed to really make some people angry.
As an Italian, I am formally declaring war on Iowa. Fong's Pizza actually dreamed up what they call Loopy Fruits Pizza 6 years ago.
We're all sitting at a table and somebody goes, well, what about Fruit Loops?
But it never quite took off. Now they're relaunching it using cream cheese, then the Fruit Loops, sprinkled with a bit of mozzarella, and drizzled with a sauce made from yogurt and sweet condensed milk.
The color, the taste, the aroma.
The infamy. The creators of Fruit Loops Pizza are basking in the attention. Fruit Loops may never replace pepperoni, but to its makers,
It's quite delicious.
This one's for the ladies. Today is International Women's Day. Every year on March 8th, it's our chance to celebrate the social, economic, and political achievements of women around the world. But it's also a day to remember how much work still has to be done to achieve gender equality. Everything from healthcare, education, and employment to pay, protection under the law, voting rights, freedom from violence, and political office. Which is why the best way to mark today is by learning more about what you can do to make change.
Meet Pumpkin. This savvy 6-month-old pet of the week prides himself on his gorgeous orange coat and impeccable manners. He's a sucker for board games and would challenge you to a game of Yahtzee any night. Apply to adopt this sweet, altered, microchip vaccinated and FIV negative kitty today. Now, we're out of time, but for more Auburn news, head over to our website, eagleeyeauburn.com, and check out our social media pages. I'm Blake Phillips.
And I'm Hee Sun Yoon. Thanks for watching, and War Eagle.